Click. Action! Welcome to Lava Lake Studio. We're here with I Am Hologram.
Greetings.
And we're going to talk a little bit about his upcoming album, Not All of Us Are Human, recorded right here. So, tell me about the experience of having someone who hears the recording before they've seen you live, and then they go to see you live and realize that it's really like a one-man band.
I've actually just had where somebody has only heard Where the Light Creeps In and Murmur, the studio version of it. And they had heard that I was a one-man band. It's only seen me play acoustic with none of the one-man band stuff. And the look on their face was just like, because you can't, you don't really get the sense that it's one person doing all that on the album, you know, and then you see it live and then it's very close to being like almost a multi-tracked experience. So
it is, and I will say, having been there when we recorded it, most of the album is a continuous take of his setup. Yeah. We did some stuff with overdubs, little frills, but yeah, the core of it was a performance. And then tell them, if they haven't seen it, what you're actually doing, especially with your feet.
Well, my feet are my rhythm section. I play a keyboard with, I guess both feet end up playing it at some point. That holds down my bass. It's the synth sound you hear. And then the drum machine that's at my right foot, I use every time that you hear a different drum. I'm doing something, either programming a new beat or, you know, and then you gotta always think, you know, a few beats ahead, or like, what am I gonna go to next at the same time? I'm singing, playing guitar. And then all the effects you hear, all the, like the live, there's no on them, I can't think of the word right now. Where you, there's no effects that we put in there that we automated.
Oh yeah, okay.
Everything you hear is actually a physical turn of a knob.
Yeah, so I will say that's I guess my portion of things. From the studio standpoint, we used automation to make it kind of fit together, but all of the what sounds like post-production effects wise was actual performances. We'll cut in some shots of the video. You'll see he has two microphones, and one of them is going straight into the recorder or the PA when you do it live, and the other one is going through guitar pedals, and yeah, there's live moments where, you know, a certain delay or feedback or something is a combination of the microphone and a guitar pedal together. So as far as those kinds of effects on the record, that was all performed, I think.
Yeah, no studio trickery at all.
There's no studio.
Realistically, there's 4%, maybe not even that much. Yeah, it's all
96% not studio trickery. Yeah. And hopefully the parts that are studio trickery, we challenge you to pick out where they are.
Yeah.
How about that? Go ahead and give the album a real close listen.
It's real few and far between, you know. And then people don't realize that the first track, which is on John Glenn's single that I just put out, there's actually the noise track that went behind Frequency 972, because that's two different.
Where did that come from? I don't even know where it came from. He just gave me the track.
I tried to start. I wanted to try to record the next Not All of Us Are Human at home by myself. Like, that's how it started. It started out with just either I'm making the album or I'm making demos to see where I want to go with the sound, and I just was nowhere near happy with it. But I knew that I wanted to start off the album with some kind of like little pretty noise track in a way. So I did kind of like, you know, a little kind of, you know, major scale guitar thing, and I put some of those sounds in it. And then a year later, we record Frequency 972, which happens to be like 1 minute and 8 seconds, which is exactly what this track was. So a year later,
track.
This thing just laid right on top of it.
We superimposed it. Yeah, we had, from what you said, 2 years or a year apart.
Yeah, a year apart.
And we just took these two completely independent recordings, and they just matched. Apparently, you know the track. You know the.
It was always meant to be that way. That's a great experience that I've had with this album, is that everything almost seemed to be like that's the way it's supposed to be. It all fell into place. And this gave me a little bit more room to add on to and really embellish on the parts that I thought needed to be brought out. And so, yeah, another great experience. And,
awesome. Yeah, Paul is Dead's another one where there's there's distinctly two guitarists doing things.
Yeah,
but one of
that
them's
one-
on a loop, so technically you could.
And that's crazy because then
argue
we
that it's
recorded
live.
the guitars, and then it was months later that I actually put the audio on top of it. And that even because I made it without actually listening to either or. Like I didn't, and I just made it and was like, well, somehow it's gonna fit. And
No, that one I remember.
That
You
fit on
so
top of
so
each
that
other.
that track Paul Horner is dead. Is that what we're calling it?
I did put it as Paul is dead, but it is it'll be in remembrance of Paul.
Well, Paul Horner. Google Paul Horner if you haven't heard of Paul Horner. That's very interesting.
the master of misinformation.
So anyway, that track I do remember you doing the two guitar takes, and you did the one and you were like, oh, that's like the right length, and then you did the other one. You're like, that's about the right length, and it was exactly the same amount of time on both of
So
them.
they're all written out. You gotta be part of the wave. You don't try to control the wave. It just is.
Were you sort of like thinking the monologue in your head as you were playing?
I did honestly. I didn't think it. Just that's what I'm saying. I just did it, and it just felt like the right length, and it was just enough.
It was exactly that length.
I ended up taking from because there's 2 shows of his on YouTube, and I ended up taking the bulk of it from actually the second show. I cut out some of the first ones because his delivery was better on the second one, even though the crowd was better in the first one, which I guess that makes you would have had to cut out like more. I mean, it was more like crowd noise, really. But then he introduces me and everything. Well, as Fappy. I was a gigantic.
Fappy.
I was a gigantic. Well, not gigantic. I was a big dolphin.
I Am Hologram, formerly known as Fappy.
The anti-masturbation dolphin. I educated children on the dangers
It is dangerous.
of masturbation.
If there's one thing you take from this video, it's that masturbation is dangerous.
That's Fappy.
Absolutely the most important thing about the new I Am Hologram album. Don't be
You could
fooled.
bet. You could bet in the special edition there's going to be some little things hidden inside the words
Right.
about Fappy. That whole little Easter egg hunt for people.
Yeah, you feel like it might be some space age thing, or maybe like a journey into like the psychological depths, but really it's just all about the dangers of masturbation.
All about the dangers of masturbation. You got to teach them early too. You got to tell them at 1 year old that they can't grow up to masturbate.
Man, we're really like putting a weird spin on the one-man band right now.
We
Well,
can edit
anyway,
some of this
you
in the
check out
long
the
run.
record. Yeah, we could edit this if you want.